you see a lot of people, unfortunately, right now don't have homes, so there's a lot of homeless that are flocking to this idea and the place that they had to do it.
It creates a lot of purpose for people who previously didn't have purpose, which is not a bad thing. That's a great thing.
Goal-wise, as I was saying, one of the big things, end of corporate personhood. Just yesterday, we were at the federal courthouse down on Main and 4th, protesting against corporate personhood with the Move to Men group, and that's the cool thing. So Occupy is basically built up of everyone and like all the activist groups and unions and stuff like that. That's so you'll find a lot of demonstrations that aren't a collective whole Occupy. Everyone cares about them, but there's a group of people in Occupy. So it's a huge support group almost, or like a foci center for things that need to be done right now, where people can come together, find support, and get those things done. So Move to Amend is pushing the first resolution to end corporate personhood, which they've signed in a lot of cities, including LA and tons of other ones. And we're pushing for that in Park City right now. It's one of our #1 goals. We've been tackling the city council there and trying to get them to start having conversations on that and even consider voting on it themselves and adding them to that resolution. Bernie Sanders, the senator for Vermont, is actually one of the first senators to actually start pushing and having dialogue on that actually at the Senate. So,
because for those who aren't aware, the Supreme Court ruled that corporations are people and their rights, they have the same rights as any individual in the United States, and so
that was Citizens United 2010,
and that's incredible. I'm glad. Couldn't be more appreciative to have you on this program, because I'm learning things as you talk. And I mean, in this country, as we speak, the corporations have the right to freedom of speech, which, I mean, I can understand to a degree, but their allowance to contribute to political campaigns and do things like this. You have Mitt Romney and Newt Gingrich agreeing that corporations are people, and it's a body. It's a body. You know what I mean? It's not. They aren't people. They have ulterior motives. They're a conglomeration of motives to basically capitalize.
Yeah.
And so that's very impressive to me to hear that. I had no idea that happened. That's because we live in a state like Utah, where the media, and I'm sure it may be like that all over the country, but the Utah media does not cover this. And I read news from day beginning to day end, all day, every day, and I didn't hear about that, and that's impressive to me. I'm very appreciative of that movement, because corporations are not people, in my opinion.
So where could any average Joe, how could the average Joe start participating in this? Is there an email or a website? Is there...
the note that we're on right now, Move to Amend, you can go to movetoamend.org, and they have on the front page there to the right top side, you can press the sign the petition button, and that's one thing you can do. Anyone can do from home is go online to movetoamend.org and sign the petition right online, and that's it. I mean, what else? Everyone's on Facebook all day long, so it takes 2 seconds to sign a petition.
So, and what do you hold meetings consistently throughout a week, or where can people go to your meetings? How do they get a hold of you if they have questions or comments, anything like that?
So far, we've had weekly meetings at the library in Park City, especially since we took the tents down at the park. Those have been usually on Wednesdays. You can check we have a Facebook site set up right now, just a page. It's Occupy Park City, and you can get on there and find out information of what we're doing, where we're going, and stuff all the time. We will have we should have a .org site set up, which is going to be organized with a new Occupy Utah site, which is going to combine all of the Utah Occupies that are set up so far, because there's one in Provo, Ogden, Salt Lake, Park City. Even I've heard of St. George and a few other places that have started organizing. So it's pretty cool. So eventually we'll have that set up as well, and we will have we've been just using our own cell phone numbers, but if you get on the website, you'll be able to find a actual phone number that you can get a hold of us on.
And what was the website again?
That's just the Facebook page, Occupy Park City.
Awesome.
So I got one question for you more, I think. I'm wondering, Is there anyone in particular that you support for the candidacy for
That's a
the
good question.
presidency?
Damn good question.
In the 2012 elections. Is there anyone that you can come out and I mean
endorse
and hold your tongue if you would like, but say what you feel, man.
And it's funny because as I love to talk about politics all day, and obviously I like to do free activism where I pay money actually to go out and yell at people and try and push resolutions. I think that's the one part that people don't like about politics when you try and talk about things actually that comes out is, and that's why it's so hard because there's no one good, unfortunately, because of the way that things are set up. I believe there's a lot of people with a lot of good ideas, and I see a lot of good in a lot of different candidates. However, with the way that the system's set up, unfortunately, and with the way that they give us the opportunity to vote, I don't think that the system, either on the voting side or the people who are elected, is relevant anymore, and that it's responsible, nor is it effective whatsoever anymore, and that there needs to be an entire overhaul. And that doesn't mean that we need to take away from what we have and what we've created in the way that we elect people, but we definitely need to go through it and correct a lot of the things that do not work, and also pave way so that any individual has the same opportunity as any other individual, not determined on their classification or how much money they have or how much money that they have coming in for their campaign, but everyone has the same right to run, and the people that really want to get in there and make change and don't care about money can get in there, because those are the people that are going to come forth with these new ideas and these new inventions and these new ideas and theories and democracies or whatever you want to call it that are actually going to work and reform everything for our futures.
Sure. So you're saying you don't endorse anybody until the whole system is changed.
I believe that is what pretty much most of the Occupy movement goes by as well.
Well,
awesome.
I'll be quite honest and say that I was almost fishing for a Ron Paul endorsement.
Yeah,
there.
So was I.
And to each their own. I'm just wondering, because to me, I'm very apathetic and almost feeling hopeless as far as our electoral system, as obviously you do, and to a degree. But I'm seeing a lot of rumble behind Ron Paul. And I'm very impressed, and I spent all my years. I've loved politics, not wanting to be a politician, not any of that, but I've loved politics and the study of it's the nature of civilization. Politics are, and I just want to know. I'm very blown away as to the response and the thunder behind Ron Paul. I've never been so hopeful of anything going on in our nation. I mean, because I feel that it's broken. I feel that the media decides, and the few ignorant souls that do go out and vote decide who becomes our president. And I just want to know, I mean, what do you think about Ron Paul?
You know what? He's
honest.
He's consistent. He has been saying stuff for a long time. However, he has a lot of bad ideas still, and he's old. I think right there is one thing that we need to get over, is just because these guys are older, like they have any more experience than a lot of younger people. I mean, you see the technology that we're able to adapt to and soak in our younger generations, and I believe that there's 30 and 40-year-olds that can do 10 times better a job at being president and organizing and doing the things that they need to, foreign policy and all that. I mean, our foreign policy is shot. Our healthcare is shot. Everything is shot. So for anyone to say any of these people have good ideas that are in office or in the Senate, I find that insulting, honestly, because the little bit of good that they do, it gives people the right to say that they're such great people and they have all this experience. It's like, we're in a very actually bad spot for the year that we live in, and the technology and the knowledge that we have of our earth and the way to do things and to associate with people. And that's the cool thing that you see about the Occupy movement, is that there's actually a collective agreement across the world to now stand in solidarity with each other and to protect each other and to thrive with each other, rather than to try and to defend ourselves against each other and try and be better than each other. So now, rather than having to protect ourselves and be in fear of each other, eventually, once we get the all these old guys out of office and stuff, hopefully we'll finally be, when we spend billions of dollars to go and destruct country, rather we can go in with a couple $100,000 and set up free energy and
within our
water
own
purification
country,
centers, and a whole bunch of stuff that can actually make it so that they're more healthy, and therefore they turn around and love us and respect us, just like America used to have a while ago. So.
You got to rule with fear.
I respect and identify with what you say, as far as, especially with the youth. We have more information at our fingertips than presidents did.
Absolutely.
There's a decade
it's unreal.
ago, and we have more ability to connect with one another. And the fact is that any reasonable-minded United States citizen has no reason to hate or fear your common Iraqi or Afghani citizen. We have very little connection with them. They are part of their own, almost ecosystem, if you want to call it that. And we're over here doing our thing, and it's good to connect on that human to human level, and to realize, that these old men, which they are, and I'm inherently almost, I don't want to say I'm a socialist, but I am socialist, because I believe that for every bullet fired into an innocent person's head, we could have bought a loaf of bread and dropped it out of an airplane. We could have given them water, and maybe that's the wrong thing. Maybe that's giving them wrong incentive to do well for their own selves. But I feel that is better than fighting and killing and dying. And when we are all human beings trying to get along, we are. It's only our leaders that are fucked up. It's our religious and political leaders that are dividing us. And once we get past all of that, because those relics are in ruin at this point in time. Our era, we're seeing religious importance fade away. We're seeing all these prejudices fade away, and now maybe we have a hope to connect with one another. And instead of dropping bombs, maybe a loaf of bread here and there, maybe some AIDS medication in Africa, and whatever we can do. We are a country of great wealth, and under a Ron Paul administration, we would have an abundance of wealth with all the cuts to warfare. But the only reason I disagree with Ron Paul is that keep it all to yourself. And it's like, no, man, if you have enough to live on and then some, give it away, man. Give it away. Don't cut yourself short. Take the world by its short hairs. Aggressively.
But that's the big question.
You know what I mean?
Sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
That's the big question is do we have enough?
If Ron Paul, let's put it this way.
Fuck Africa
I'm saying
right now.
I
need my fucking FAFSA application, dude. I need school. I need Angry Birds.
What I was saying is under 20. If we, and not that we can have a president for 20 years. If we ran a government the way Ron Paul wants to run it for 20, 25 years, we would have a surplus that we would be able not to just provide welfare for the whole world, but actually be humanitarians, embody, if we're a Christian nation, which I don't agree with, if we're a Christian nation, maybe
start acting
embody Christian values as far as feeding the poor, helping the helpless. Let's just put it that way. If you are helpless and I have enough to give, I want to help you. And as a nation, and we're lucky enough to be born here, if we have an abundance, we should share. And I believe that inherently. And maybe that makes me socialist, but fuck you.
It's sad that the socialistic views are pushed onto these very good values, because that's anything but socialism to be humanitarians against the world. Socialism, is to take everything that some people have and to spread it across with everyone else. And I think that's the last thing that anyone wants or to take for. There's a balance in between these ideas of capitalism and socialism, I think, that we're going to find, where anyone who's willing to go and work for what they want can get that, yet in a non-greedy way, yet at the same time that, we're going to take care of everyone, not in a socialist way or not like a welfare way that they have to be, but because we can provide for everyone, and because the earth does have those things, when we take care of it and we don't destroy it, that we can produce enough agriculture to support everyone, and that money is a made-up thing, and that's the whole point behind this banking crisis. Is the fractional lending is that they're just printing off endless money, and they're making us think that we're poor, which is a total facade as well, because as they strip these homes away off this land that was never theirs in the first place. And
3 hotels on Baltic Avenue.
We sit here and fear something we never had in the first place, and that that's what we're going to come to find. These socialistic ideas of possessions that we spread among each other is nothing really. I mean, there's things on this earth that we can all be given. And if no one wants to, fight for something more than that, then they don't need to. And the people that want to, they can. And there's your capitalism for you. There, you go and get it if you want it.
Well put. So, well put.
I'm sorry.
No,
I know I said maybe I was done making statements or asking questions. I was wondering, what do you feel that Anonymous and their endeavors fit into the Occupy vision? I mean, I personally think that they do to a degree, but you're the man. You're the man with the message.
The bomb.
So what do you think about Anonymous and their endeavors?
I love those guys.
Dude, so do I. Great. They're the fucking.
They made this happen because we're a generation of hype and glamour and a really cool music video, and that's pretty much what they did.
Sensationalized.
Can we play a clip from them?
Yeah, let's play a clip.
Yeah.
What is the clip? You got to describe it a little.
I had to go to it.
Way to be on top of it.
Yeah, Rick the engineer with a clip from Anonymous.
Hello, citizens of the world. We are Anonymous. Dear brothers and sisters, now is the time to open your eyes. In a stunning move that has civil libertarians stuttering with disbelief, the U.S. Senate has just passed a bill that effectively ends the Bill of Rights in America. The National Defense Authorization Act is being called the most traitorous act ever witnessed in the Senate, and the language of the bill is cleverly designed to make you think it doesn't apply to Americans. But toward the end of the bill, it essentially says it can apply to Americans if we want it to. Bill summary and status. 112th Congress, 2011 to 2012, S. 1867. Latest title, National Defense Authorization Act 4. This bill, passed late last night in a 93-7 vote, declares the entire USA to be a battleground upon which U.S. military forces can operate with impunity, overriding posse comitatus and granting the military the unchecked power to arrest, detain, interrogate and even assassinate U.S. citizens with impunity. Even Wired magazine was outraged at this bill, reporting, Senate wants the military to lock you up without trial. The detention mandate to use indefinite military detention in terrorism cases isn't limited to foreigners. It's confusing, because two different sections of the bill seem to contradict each other. But in the judgment of the University of Texas Robert Chesney, a nonpartisan authority on military detention, U.S. citizens are included in the grant of detention authority. The passage of this law is nothing less than an outright declaration of war against the American people by the military-connected power elite. If this is signed into law, it will shred the remaining tenets of the Bill of Rights and unleash upon America a total military dictatorship, complete with secret arrests, secret prisons, unlawful interrogations, indefinite detainment without ever being charged with a crime, the torture of Americans and even the legitimate assassination of U.S. citizens right here on American soil. If you have not yet woken up to the reality of the police state we've been warning you about, I hope you realize we are fast running out of time. Once this becomes law, you have no rights whatsoever in America, no due process, no First Amendment speech rights, no right to remain silent, nothing. The U.S. Senate does not want us to speak. I suspect even now orders are being shouted into telephones and men with guns will soon be on their way. Why? Because while the truncheon may be used in lieu of conversation, words will always retain their power. Words offer the means to meaning and for those who will listen, the enunciation of truth. And the truth is, there is something terribly wrong with this country, isn't there? Cruelty and injustice, intolerance and oppression. And where once you had the freedom to object, to think and speak as you saw fit, you now have censors and systems of surveillance coercing your conformity and soliciting your submission. How did this happen? Who's to blame? Well, certainly there are those who are more responsible than others, and they will be held accountable. But again, truth be told, if you're looking for the guilty, you need only look into a mirror. I know why you did it. I know you were afraid. Who wouldn't be? War, terror, disease. There were a myriad of problems which conspired to corrupt your reason and rob you of your common sense. Fear got the best of you, and in your panic, you turned to the now president in command, Barack Obama. He promised you order. He promised you peace. And all he demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent. More than 400 years ago, a great citizen wished to embed the 5th of November forever in our memory. His hope was to remind the world that fairness, justice, and freedom are more than words. They are perspectives. So if you've seen nothing, if the crimes of this government remain unknown to you, then I would suggest that you allow the 5th of November to pass unmarked. But if you see what I see, if you feel as I feel, and if you would seek as I seek, then I ask you to stand beside one another, 1 year from November 5th, 2011, outside the gates of every courthouse of every city demanding our rights. Together we stand against the injustice of our own government. We are anonymous. We are legion. United as one. Divided by zero. We do not forgive censorship. We do not forget oppression. U.S. Senate. Expect us.
So that was anonymous with their clip on YouTube. There's 100 million of
We'll
those.
leave you a link on the Citizen Noise.
Who posted that?
Absolutely. Anonymous.
Oh, thanks.
They're just, it's anonymous.
Got it.
Unanimously
They write
anonymous.
a lot of poems.
Go on YouTube. They're making shit happen digitally. They are the digital revolution.
That-
They're invisible.
And if anyone's unaware of what Anonymous is, it's supposed to be, from what they claim, they're a collective organization of computer nerds from around the world, not just the United States, around the world, who have a network set up. And when they all agree on one hack, which is a lot of their activities that they do, they're called hacktivists. They'll go and shut down, just like when people sit in at banks and shut down the banks for a day, they'll go in and there'll be so many of them on these websites that they'll shut down the websites for a day. So it's like an online protest.
And
So
that's awesome. That's a new kind of activism that's never ever.
Nobody has to
I'm lucky
travel
to be
from
alive.
across the world to get to the protests. They do right online.
In this era where shit like that exists, to the digital era, dude, no one before us, Martin Luther King, ain't got shit on that. That's all.
Yeah. Well, we have better tools. Every young person in their home with a laptop has a tool to spread information and
It's a
ideas
weapon,
and
dude.
share ideas and be part of ideas, and it's brilliant.
So you can go on to move
I
to
looked at your
amend.
history too.
Oh yeah.
You can go on to move-to-amend.org. You can also, Tyler Galovich also hosts some Occupy Park City meetings at the City Library in Park City, sometimes on Wednesdays. You can go, contact him through the website if you're interested in participating. He brought us some awesome buttons, Occupy buttons, and we're going to wear it
Wear them
proudly.
with pride.
Yeah, we're on your side, Tyler. We're on your side, and we'd like to do anything we can to help out.
Do you,
Just so
do
you
you
know.
have anything?
Any last word?
Finishing statement?
Just for people to do their research.
Absolutely.
Homework is boring, always has been for anyone, but it's pretty cool actually when you start looking at some of these things that are going on. It's quite incredible too, where it's such a disgusting rate of pollution. At the same time, you would think that this was solved over the years of we see these videos of places being poisoned in lawsuits, and that that industries don't do that anymore, and that our government just loves us. But the facts are that there's a lot of stuff going on. Unless you get out there and really research it, you can't find it out. And then 20 years later, you end up seeing that these things were going on. So I just encourage people to really get on the internet. And as we saw, that they're
pick up
trying
some books too.
shut
They're
down
still
their
around.
Books are great as well. Always.
Those
Burned
things.
them yet.
In fact, if you get a book,
Pages and
read
shit.
it. Books are great because you can read it and then you can give it to someone. And it's like a
Sure.
chain note kind of game thing as well. But and get involved with Occupy. It's a fun thing. Even Park City, the mayor, everyone has been super supportive.
He's a
In fact,
liberal ukulele playing motherfucker.
If anything, I believe
Dana Williams.
if they could get on here, they would tell people to get involved as well. Obviously, everyone's busy, so it's hard to do certain things. But if you can do anything, even sit at your computer and look up videos, all the power to you. You should do it.
Awesome, and we'd like to thank you so much for coming here, having this conversation with us, because it's an important one, and it's showing up in our lives every day, different effects from the Occupy movement. So we thank you, salute you for your efforts. You're a patriot, sir, just so you know. The show's not over yet. We still got a couple more segments coming up here. We got a topic roulette, which is a popular, awesome little topic. So here we go.